Welcome to the Adoption Lounge. I'm Amanda.
And I am Katie. Thank you so much for being here with us. I hope everybody had a good holiday season.
Yes.
Amanda and I are wearing matching outfits today. You probably didn't notice. I want you to know that as much as Amanda, because I know you probably know everything about us now, Amanda will not like to dress up in costumes. She is one of those people that thinks it's super fun to match.
I do. And also, I feel like this is the most amazing.
Oh, yes, please sponsor us, Comfort. We're spending all our money at your store. We were TikTok influenced, and now we can't stop. It's sad.
It's the most comfortable thing ever. We have
It's the waistband for me.
We've bought them for everybody in our life.
And honestly, Amanda's 5'7", and I am 5'2", and, you know, it works lengthwise, so my shorty girls.
It really does. And I feel like we're
going to come back in future episodes with different colors.
Yeah, so stay tuned to see what color's next. If I could wink, I'd wink, but I can't.
Oh, I forgot you can't. Just turn your head sideways.
Thank you. Also, it's so close to Valentine's Day. These are kind of Valentine's Day colors.
It is kind of Valentine's Day color. And we have our pink nails, too.
Pink nails. And we have matching water bottles, not pictured.
Asterisk. Asterisk.
But they match.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, assistant from the side.
Those are our best friend water bottles.
Yes. Amanda got a charm. This is important. And it has my initial on it, so I will know this one's mine and hers is hers.
Yep.
But what's mine is yours anyway, babe.
Yeah, I'm the only one that she'll share a drink with. So.
That's true. That's 1,000, except my husband. But like,
Oh
my God, Jordan's looking at all this shit out. Didn't you send me a TikTok?
I did. I sent her a TikTok that was like best friends, like randomly doing what just happened here.
Trying to have a conversation and then just doing the same thing at the same time. Yeah. We're out of it now, so.
Okay, now it's just going to keep happening.
But we want to talk about something kind of fun today, actually.
Yeah.
I was really excited. I saw Millie Bobby Brown was on some of the talk shows because, you know, they're promoting Stranger Things. And if we had time, we would talk about the Stranger Things ending, which I'm still...
My kids are so sad about it.
Feeling some type of way about. Oh, I just meant I'm mad.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, the TikTokers got me on all the conspiracy theories. I was like, is there a secret episode? What day is
I'm
it
so
dropping?
bad I have not finished it. I started it, so I know what it's about, but I didn't finish.
Just watch TikTok instead.
I mean, honestly, that's usually what I do.
But I do love the cast desperately. And Millie Bobby Brown was on, and she was talking about how her and her lovely new husband, Jake, adopted. And I just thought...
Which is so exciting.
So cool. Yeah. I think she's such a neat person because she just seems so secure in who she is.
And
obviously,
genuine.
I don't know her as a person, but... You know,
I wish I did. Sponsor us, Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, let's be friends. You can have a matching sweatsuit.
We'll send you one.
Yeah.
I would have winked again, but I can't wink.
Oh.
Can you?
You need...
Thanks.
Please cut that out. But I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to like learn more about that. And I think that the fact that she decided to choose adoption as a first choice is just such a cool thing. And I think it's definitely more of a, not like a trend, but, you know, I think that there's just a different conversation around adoption. It's come such a long way than it did, 40 years ago when my parents adopted me. And so it's just really cool to see someone have adoption be their first choice, especially with celebrities, because I feel like
their option is everything.
Yes, exactly. Surrogacy is so expensive in the United States. And I feel like that's what you hear about a lot of them doing. And no offense at all meant if you choose surrogacy. I just think it's really cool when people choose adoption when their options are limitless.
Well, and it's just not an option for everybody.
Exactly.
So adoption often is sometimes like almost like a third choice, because obviously for some families it's to have a child naturally. When that doesn't work out, they may attempt to look into surrogacy. I have a lot of people that I talk to that have looked into surrogacy first, and they just don't know how much it is. It's so expensive.
Yeah, I heard it's like upwards of like $250,000 now, which is just so wild. In Canada they actually can't even charge for surrogacy.
Really?
Yeah. So my friend, and I'm not going to name, I almost did, but I feel like I shouldn't without her permission. But she was a surrogate, and I just think that's the coolest thing ever. I might have talked about her before, but they match you in Canada, and it's cool because they have universal health care. So it's not a financial burden on anybody. And so she's actually still friends with the family that she helped. And she told me one of the coolest things about it was now when her kids, when she's out and about, and they see like a pregnant person, they'll be like, oh, is that her baby or is that someone else's baby? And she's like, that's exactly what I wanted, because I wanted to change the conversation on what the traditional family looks like. And I'm like, God, that's so cool. And then when you have a high profile celebrity choosing to do something like adoption, I think that changes the conversation too. I think it opens up, people's minds a bit in considering that as a first option.
Oh, yeah, because adoption, I've always said adoption is something that people know about but don't really talk a lot about.
Yes, there's still a weird stigma sometimes or taboo.
Yes. And so I think when somebody talks about it, because like for me, before I worked in adoption, I did not know anyone personally that was adopted or had adopted.
No, you had to hand select a best friend.
I did.
You're like, I'll take care of that right now.
Right now. I'm changing that right now. So for her to openly talk about how adoption also is something that she doesn't view, like she doesn't view it any different. Like nobody said that she even dealt with infertility. We don't even know.
No, and honestly, obviously it's nobody's business, but I think it's cool when it's also not a part of the conversation.
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes with adoption, maybe that's why there's still a stigma. There's an assumption, I think, that some other attempts have been made in different ways, Right. I think it's so cool if something becomes mainstream enough that they're just like, oh, cool, you're choosing adoption.
Well, yeah, and even if it like starts a conversation, like, oh, wow, Millie Bobby Brown did adoption. I want to learn more about that. I want to hear more about that or whatever.
Yes.
And so they look it up. It just gets the information flowing, the conversation's flowing, which I love.
I agree. And I read an article online where she's talking about it, and I loved what she said too, because, she was just saying how biological or, adoption, it's just the same. She views them as 1,000% equal, which, as an adopted person, not only do I appreciate her saying, but I also feel like it's valid. I mean, I don't like when I have to read things that I feel like invalidate my familial experience with my own parents and my own sister. Speaking from firsthand knowledge, that's exactly how it is. And so it's lovely to see someone bringing voice and word to that, especially when there can be some negativity around adoption, which I think is just unfortunate.
Well, and I think it's really neat that she's younger and doing it too.
Yeah.
Because I think she is quite younger than
it's like a Gen Z thing.
Than our average. Than our average.
We're getting so old, Amanda.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. But I think she's in her early 20s, so I think that's just a really cool thing. I think she's one of those people that's just very self-assured, she seems, and stands by her decisions very firmly, and I just think that's something to be so respected, and I love when that involves adoption conversation as well.
Well, and I love that she's talking about adoption, but keeping, her child's life still private.
Yes.
So that they can choose, if they want to be known or not.
It doesn't feel like she's looking for any attention with this.
She's just an excited mom, which is so relatable.
And I don't mean to ever dog anybody else. I think that it's a newer thing that people sometimes don't know how to handle. People are curious about it. But I do really respect the way she's handled it. I think there definitely needs to be privacy. And one thing, when I was growing up, my mom always told me that it was my choice who I told.
Which I love that.
Yeah, that I was adopted. So it's like I always knew I was adopted from day one. But whether or not I shared that with classmates, teachers, coworkers, it was just completely my choice. Well, now I tell everybody online. But
and it makes you feel like it's not any different. Like it's not like if you had an adoptive child and you had one that you had. This is my naturally born child.
Right.
Like you don't introduce them that
one.
way. This is the adopted one. If you couldn't tell.
No, luckily my sister is adopted as well. So even playing field, but I am the oldest. So
you are the oldest.
Yeah. Oldest daughter syndrome over here for sure. My sister could have been an oldest, but she settled into her baby role.
I'm a baby.
We know.
If you couldn't tell.
My baby.
I am your baby.
But yeah, so I just thought that was a really neat thing, and I love that she's openly talking about it without giving away any kind of identifying information. Mm-hmm. I hope that, she gets to enjoy a private relationship with with the biological family if that's something they're open to.
Yeah.
I just think that's very
Well,
cool.
hopefully it spreads the word. It gets people, that maybe are thinking about adoption, since she has such a widespread audience that people will maybe think that, hey, like it's not so crazy to adopt. Maybe we could think about this or talk about this. And I like that birth moms, it's nice to see how much love she has for her child, because I know that's something
that's true. It's a display of the after part
and how she feels, which you may not. Oh, that's what they're nervous about sometimes, obviously, naturally.
Yes. I wonder if they're going to adopt more kids.
That'd be really cool.
I know. We have a couple of families who have done many different kinds of adoption, and maybe also had some bio kids. And I always think it's really cool when you have say like mix and match. But I just think it's neat because every family looks different, and I think it's so important to keep that thought at the forefront. There is I don't think we have a nuclear family anymore in the U.S. At least I hope we're getting away from that, just because I think that, like we always say, love makes a family. It's Lifelong's tagline, and it's so true.
That's right. It is true.
That's right. But yeah, we just want to do a little fun one today and talk about that, because we saw it recently, and also I was lamenting about the end of Stranger Things. But we are going to do another episode soon, and we have some families that we're so excited to talk to. So we've lined up some families to have more conversations with. So.
Which we're always excited about.
Yes, and if our families are watching and they want to be a part of the podcast, please reach out to us. Anytime. You can email Amanda or I directly.
Or even just comment on the video.
Yeah, or comment on the video. We'll reach out to you. Ball's in your court.
Well, until next time.
I
know it's going to be riveting, but we're not going to give away the next color that we'll be wearing. So stay tuned for the next episode if you want to see what color we're wearing.
It'll depend when the pre-order gets delivered.
Yes.
But it's going to happen. All right, guys. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Bye.
Bye.